What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is Agree to Disagree. We're breaking down the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go, I guess.
Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgado, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on HUD Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, location in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them right there on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. They accept most major insurances. So tell them the boys from HUD Radio sent you. As always, Nick Delgado, Greg Mwakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. We'll do Crumb of the Week at the end of the show. Losers of the game, Eagles, Bucs, late night post gamer. And let's just get right into the poll question. And we're going to just get right into the onslaught, which is going to be tonight. Okay, this is what tonight's about. Tonight's enough of excuses, right? And we're just going to call everybody how we see them tonight. That's how tonight's going to work. So our poll, despite missing the stars, the Eagles offense was most disappointing in the loss to the Bucs. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe. Most importantly, join the conversation. Get it off your chest, baby. Get it off your chest tonight. Listen, defense was bad in the first half. I mean, you give up 24 points. You can't get off the field. No question about it. No question about it. Okay? But we did nothing offensively. Nothing offensively. I mean, there was plays to be had. Okay? Saquon Barkley's wide open. So when it's 7-0, you could strike back. You can make it 7-7. You could go on a drive. We didn't have a first down. We didn't have a first down for almost 2 quarters. Almost 2 quarters of football. So, I mean, they're the most disappointing. I got a $255 million quarterback. I got a 16, 13, whatever it is, $1 million a year running back. I got arguably one of the top 5 tight end in football when he's on the field. I don't want to hear. I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't want to hear who wasn't playing. I don't want to hear it. Yes, they're major losses. We get it. He scored 14 points. Because the 2 came from, obviously, the extra point. But come on, guys. Like, some of this is on Jalen, too. I know there's no Lane. I know a record without Lane. I get it. But there'll be a time Lane's not here. So, I mean, enough of the excuses on everything else. Like, we didn't put any drives together. And if you want to put blame all around, go ahead. Because blame's on Nick. Blame's on Kellen Moore. Blame's on Jalen Hurts. Blame's on name another player. Yep. All right? Blame goes around. Nobody's getting out of here without any blame. And the defense, obviously, in the first half. That same defense gave up 9 points in the second half. Because none of them got ran through a muck in the second half, too. They made adjustments or whatever, right? We had opportunities. And a costly turnover kills an opportunity. So it's one thing after another. And it's all facets, right? We push a guy in to Cooper, he fumbles the ball, right? So it was a spiral. Bad football spirals. Trends of undisciplined football teams, they spiral. It's the same shit we just got done watching.
Yeah.
The same stuff. Nothing's changed from Jalen. Hold on to the football team. Blah, blah, blah. Then run. Then take off. Put a team on your back. I mean, we knew it going into this. This had to be a Jalen and Saquon game. I mean, I know we were down early quick, but like, run the ball then.
Listen, no, you're right. I mean, you have opportunities. So,
Defense was terrible, though.
I like what you said. Yeah, I mean, I'll answer the poll and then I'll just move on. I know what you're saying, and you're 100% right. It's an all around disaster for the Philadelphia Eagles team. But I will disagree because the defense was an atrocity. It was an atrocious. Right? I mean, 29 first downs, 445 total yards. Right? Multiple opportunities. Obviously, no turnovers. Got to Baker twice. More. But had opportunities once you climb back in this game to make some big stops, and they just couldn't stop, and they couldn't stop anybody. And the most glaring thing, again, it reminds you of the playoff game last year, because the tackling was midget level football, midget football.
Did they ever tackle? Did
they
even tackle anybody?
I don't think they did. I mean, it was horrible today. So, like Tom said, I mean, you can go soup to nuts here and name 1,000 things, and that's where everybody just keeps missing the point when they when it's the Jalen's defense team. They just keep missing the point. Like, we no kidding, dude. People with common sense are going to tell you that that there's more in this blender of today than it was than just Jalen Hurts, right? But when you pay a guy, it doesn't matter if it's your checkbook or not, right? When you pay a guy that much money, man, there has to be times when you find a way to take a game in your hands and carry a team. And Barkley makes an amazing play after half. I mean, that third quarter, the game was lost in the third quarter. People are going to tell you it was 24-0. I get it. I'm not arguing that. I know you got to climb uphill, right? But you get to score. You get the ball in the third quarter. You score. You cut it to 10, right? You got an opportunity twice to get off the field with momentum. 3rd and 7, they converted, and a 3rd and 11, they converted, and then obviously a 3rd and 1 to score the touchdown, around the goal line. You know what I mean? But those 3rd and 7, that 3rd and 11, you get off the field there, you force a punt, you get the ball back with all the momentum, right? You're 10 down. That could turn into a different ball game. So that was monstrous right there. And then after, still in the third quarter, after they make a great play on the PAT, they don't stop anybody again, right? Bucs go down, score a touchdown. They block the PAT. They take it the other way to get a 2. Unbelievable. Instead of 17, it turns into 14. A 2-possession game. Birds come down, have a nice little drive, and Jalen puts it on the carpet again at the Tampa Bay 19.
Yep.
Can't happen. I don't care about blocking. I don't care about that. You got to feel things. You got to have a feel for the game, right? Nobody's giving the offensive line or those guys a pass, all right? 6 sacks today. But you got to take care of the football, right? Get it out. Have an internal clock in your head. You score there, you're down 7. It's a different ball game. Instead, that was it right there. That was the ball game.
Yeah, that was. And it was a combo. Like you said, it's not just like we're talking about. It's not just one way or the other today. It's in everybody. It's in everybody. Greg, you were down there, so you got to see it. But I'll just go back. Before you go, Greg, again, like that ball to Saquon, like I don't know where that ball's thrown to.
It's 10 yards out of bounds.
Like I don't understand. Like I don't understand. Like the ball slip out of your hands. Like what is that? He's wide open. So like that's the thing that you need, man. Like that's a franchise quarterback. Like I might be the only one in this goddamn city will not run from it because we ran other ones out of damn town. All right, so I'm so freaking sick and tired of it. I watched 5
for a lot less.
Carry less. I watched 5 carry less for a freaking decade almost. For a freaking decade. Say what you want about the guy. All right, say what you want about him, and he never won the big game. Whatever you want to say, it's fine.
Yep.
That's the facts. But the facts are also the dude won a ton of games
with nobody.
He took care of fucking football because he took care of the fucking football. That's why. You want to know why? Because Donovan was a great athlete. He could throw well enough, right? But he took care of the ball. Like we don't talk about that with Donovan, right? When Carson went south, could you stop taking care of the football? Like when guys go south, it's one reason. You stop taking care of the football. It doesn't mean you can't play anymore. It doesn't mean you're not talented. It doesn't mean you're not going to make a good throw. It doesn't matter. There was Johnny Wilson today that was thrown. Literally, that dude's 6'9". That ball should be here, right? Leading the guy. Ball's thrown on his, not even his back hip. It was thrown like a yard away from the guy. Like it's just a little thing. Say like, oh man, I can't.
No, absolutely. I mean, you go back. You want to, like you said, you want to go back that far. Which
trash. You know, like
no, you're right. You want to go back that far, and then you never would think, all those years later, that you'd be so happy to have worm burners, right? Because that was the biggest thing with that's the biggest thing with Donovan. That was the biggest thing with Donovan, besides the losing and stuff, the postseason losing, never winning the big one. You know what I mean? But it was always like, Jesus, Donovan, another one. You spiked another one in the ground, but it didn't lead to a turnover. To your point, like, you know what I mean? Like, so he might not have been accurate, not saying he was doing it on purpose, but maybe he was. Maybe he was a sly devil. I mean, like, on some of them, not all of them, you know what I mean? But, he was like, yeah, live to play another day. You know what I mean? Let me spike this into the ground and drive the Eagle fans crazy. But it didn't result into either into points or flipping the field, which is, monster is in the NFL.
Well, just your eyes, T. Cole. Like he's not smooth, Jalen. It doesn't look smooth. Go ahead, Greg. To the poll.
Yeah, no, I this is not to absolve the defense because they were absolutely garbage, but I'm absolutely going to agree as well. This is now the fourth week in a row that we have started with our scripted plays like trash, and we still do not have any points in the first quarter of our games right now.
Only team in the NFL.
Yeah, I forgot.
Only team in the NFL. That we do not have points in the first quarter. Any points. Like we know, like you said, Tommy, we know who is missing, right? No, we know the guys and what comes with those price tags, especially of those guys that are missing. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have had the ability to compete, right? That's the most depressing part about today was they never competed, right? Like you said, $255 million quarterback. The top three at worst running back in the NFL, and a top 5 to 7 when healthy tight end, in the NFL. That's enough to compete. I'm not saying we got to win the game, but that's enough to compete.
No, you're right. And don't forget about
compete.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, not to cut you off. Don't forget about Dotson. I mean, everybody was, I'm just saying that dude's been a ghost. I mean,
former first round pick, Paris Campbell, John Ross, right? I don't care what you say about them. They're NFL vets. They've been around. They're good enough to get you by 1 week, 2 weeks, right? These guys are good enough vets, and they've been around long enough that yes, there's going to be a drop-off with those three. We all get it. But it's a former first-round pick and 2 vets that have been around the league a minute. You should be able to compete. This wasn't a great defense. There was plays to be made, and like I said, whatever scripted plays coming out of the locker room got to get burned up because this, again, is the worst team starting offensively, let alone defensively, that we've seen in a long time here.
No, it is. John, you're right. You pay a quarterback $200+ million. Isn't he supposed to make your team better? He's definitely not supposed to make it worse or not have the ability to carry. Right? I'm not saying today's like all on him either. You know what I mean? But enough of it is. Enough of it is. And it's week in, week out. And like you said, the scripted plays, all that. Well, we pay a quarterback that much money and we haven't scored a point in the first quarter in 4 games.
Mm-hmm. And
you're hoping you're hoping that's going to change. Like I'm not, in no way, shape, or form we talk about benching or we talk about any of that kind of crap. You know what I mean? It just has to be better. If it's not better, then I gotta start looking in different directions. Then you understand? It's that simple. Like if this continues this year, I'm not staying in this. I'm not just going to assume it's going to get better because it's 2 years in a row of a lot of turnovers, etc. We can't. So he needs to clean it up. He needs to clean it up.
You know what I mean?
If he just doesn't turn the football over, it's a really good football team. Like, not today.
But even today, but yes, 100%, Tom. Like even that 4th down play call that we got the touchdown, you're telling me that was your play call? Like you're telling me you wanted him to roll out, look like he was scared shitless, and then find Paris Campbell in the back of the end zone. Like that was the play call you designed? What are we doing? What is this offense doing?
I don't know if it was a play call designed. I feel like he just took off.
It could have been.
I could be wrong on that one.
But
you
like
know what I mean?
I'm sitting there at the
Definitely
game.
wasn't designed.
I'm sitting there at the game roasting my ass off because it was 100 degrees there. All typical Tampa and
whatever the design was,
right?
it wasn't good.
We're like, all right, it worked, but what the hell was that?
Oh, yeah, that was just a broken play. That was just a touch football play. You know what I mean?
I almost feel like the tackle might have like gotten.
Yeah, remember I told you he went early. Yeah, I thought he went early.
Something happened on that play, which made him in defense of him on this one. Made him get out of the pocket.
That wasn't like I was blaming Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni more than I was blaming Jalen there.
Yeah, I don't even know how much of this is Kellen either, right? Like,
true.
Like we don't know exactly what's there, what we're going back and watching film on that he's not reading. I just go back to what I watch on my eyeballs. And if you hit Saquon there, it's a 7-7 game. So 7-7 game. Or at minimum, you're driving down and you probably won't take points anyway. So maybe it is still 7-0.
Yeah,
I don't know. Right?
Yeah, listen,
but you keep your defense off the fucking field. God damn it! Like we can shit on the D all we want, dude. But when you're 3 and out, and they're just back on it again, when we already don't get pressure as it is, and we already are not a good tackling team, and then you add in 90, 98, whatever it was, sure, it's only going to get worse. Bad football is only going to get worse when that happens. Right? Like a bad defense only going to get worse when that happens. So part of it's on the offense is staying a drive. You know, if that's running the football more, whatever people want to say, but like, you know, your quarterback best friends always is the run game. But again, there's a play open there early on that play, and if that's connected, who knows how it shifts? Who knows if they put in the belly more? But they weren't doing anything at a high level on the offense side of the football, not even running the ball. I mean, he had the 59-yard run, and that was really, you know, that was the big juice out of Saquon, and that's usually what you get from him.
27-yard reception. Yep.
And you're good with that. That's why you pay a guy like that. You pay him for 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 70, right? Yep. You're paying for a home run, rightfully so. But you gotta keep doing it. But again, where's the RPO? Where are the things that this quarterback played his best football doing? Like, I don't understand how to explain it to him. If you think this guy, like, this is what I don't understand, right? And maybe they do it in practice. I don't know what they do in practice, but like, you watch this guy and you're telling me that he's developing, you know, he's going through all the progressions. You're telling me he's really seeing it, or are you telling me that I got to demand the ball out of his hands? Demand quick decisions. So, knowing the kind of player I have, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is going through all those things. And if he is, I want to hear from those people tonight, right? But like, that's your job. Like Frank Reich, you know, you can leave his kids in the middle of Broad Street too for the job he did with Nick Foles, right? Quick. I mean, who would have thought they were running RPO with Nick Foles? But it worked. But this worked in 2022, and we were the number 1 rush team in the National fucking Football League. So why do we got to change our stripes when we pay a guy? Well, all of a sudden you pay a guy, and now you want him dropping back and being somebody he is not. God damn it. That is not who Jalen Hurts is. It's not who he is. It doesn't mean he can't drop back. It doesn't mean he can't throw from the pocket. I'm not saying that. But this was an offense that I went into the season thinking it's going to be number 1 rush offense in football.
Yep.
And it should be weekly. Sorry. Part of that is coaching, but part of it, Jalen needs to play fucking better.
Yeah.
And everybody's defender in the country comes in like, oh, what did you see? What was 60 doing when he got stripped?
That's what I'm putting.
It's this, that, and third. Like, dude, you got eyeballs. You're just watching the same game. It's these like 21 straight games of turning the football over at an alarming rate.
I mean, that's where I keep landing. Like the disconnect between, you know, half the fan base and the other half. It's just like, you know, there's people that, you know, maybe listen, I'm not debating. There's people that don't like him. I mean, that's go ahead. I mean, to each his own. Kid's a great kid. You know, I mean, we're talking about quarterback play, right? And we've been honest from day one. You know what I mean? So an amazing job. You know, obviously that 1 year they get to the Super Bowl. Great job. You know what I mean? But and we said it. You know, it's not a second guess when it's a first guess. You know, and we said you paid him premature. It wasn't that he didn't deserve a little raise. You know, put a little in his stocking. You know, slip $50K, slip $1 million in his stocking. I don't know, do something, right? But there was no reason to write the Mamo check. There was no reason to write the Mamo check.
I got
you know what I mean? And there was no reason for it. And people say it's not your money. I don't care. It isn't my money. But with that price tag comes, a ton of responsibility and pressure too. Let's call a spade. I mean, like, you're making a lot of money, you know what I mean? So a lot of pressure comes with that. And people say, well, you're getting paid handsomely, but they're humans, so of course, he's gonna hear things, he's gonna see things, so all we're saying is, like when the other side comes in, it's like I said, he can do no wrong. And all we're trying to say is, hey, listen, we're not taking any blame away from everybody else. We're just saying, are you watching the same game as us? They were quick to come in. They were quick to come in last week and say, oh, I thought he couldn't read a defense because three Saints collided into each other and he changed the play at the line. Listen, kudos. I'm not taking anything away from the kid. Glad he changed the play. Glad that, air quote, glad that was the design, right? Tremendous rubber out, if that's what it was, to cause three stooges to run into each other. That was amazing. If that was the play call, kudos. Right? But you took a 5-yard cross and Dallas took it 70. So great job. They got to win, but like, let's not say like, that's a definition. That's a resume for reading defenses, and like,
well, look at what Baker said after the game, right? We was talking with Tom after the game, and he said, "What was the game plan today?" He said, "Well, we know they got their front, right? Their front is really good. They get after you. So our game plan was to get the ball out of my hands quick." Well, why wasn't that our game plan as well, knowing that we didn't have our downfield threats? Right? How do you get Dotson in space? How do you get Goddard in space, Saquon in space, right? Like, what are we doing that we're having him drop back and asking these guys on the outside who, let's be real, or should be there, to go try and make double, triple moves and try and beat guys? Let's get the ball in their hands and work down the field, right? Like, it's just going back to the game plan. Like, what was it? To sit back there and let Jalen pick them apart? That's not going to happen.
One's a pocket quarterback, one's not. I mean, like, we're talking about Baker Mayfield and comparing and talking about Jalen Hurts, and the ball coming out of one's hand compared to the other isn't fucking close.
No.
Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell people. Like, it's not close. All right. And I know Baker was my former son and he's back, right? But the facts are the facts. Like, one guy in the pocket is different than the other guy, and it's one game. I get it. I'm just saying the zip, the anticipation, like, that's what pocket guys have. Because Baker can't make up for that stuff by running around. You understand? So he was forced to sit there and make quick decisions and read defenses and do those types of things, right? And I'm not saying Jalen can't read a defense. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm not saying that. But, I did say that, VDP. He said, remember Tom saying, let's wait to pay him and let him prove it for another year before paying him after Super Bowl season. Yeah, I got crushed for it. Oh, James Jackson. Appreciate you, brother.
James. Oh, brother.
Says every week we come out sloppy, unprepared, and without energy. Nick ain't doing anything to help this team, but Jalen isn't helping with the turnovers and easy misses. Yep. Defense was also trash, so everyone deserves playing today. And that's the facts. We can just leave this one up here for the rest of the show. You know what I mean? Because it sums it all up.
And we despise Nick. So, I mean, we always start at the top. You know what I mean? We start with the top and we trickle down to everybody. Right?
And we did that for weeks.
Everybody is accountable. Absolutely. Like, today, like I said, today it's a clusterfuck of everybody. Right. But Statlin's in there. And I know he's not, blocking, but like, and we know he's the GOAT. Right. But like, those guys looked unprepared today. Right. And you can't play for your guys. But that line looked atrocious today. Right. They looked unprepared. Right, the special teams guy, he gets a smack in the face. Right, again, he didn't push the guy, but like, what are you doing in meetings here? I mean, this guy pushes a guy into a guy like twice. Right, the other time, they got the ball, or Cooper got drilled or something. They pushed him, or the guy did it twice. It was nuts. Or he never touched it. The second time he never touched it or something. But
it's just mistakes all around, right? And it's undisciplined, and that starts with Nick Sirianni, who I would have fired at the end of last year. Right. So, I mean, that's easy. It's the same things we're seeing from last year that we were told were easy fixes and nobody worry. And it's all kumbaya. And, how he went out and spent money and changed over a roster to a point. And what I think made a roster better. And for some reason that hasn't played out yet. And Vic's got to make adjustments too, right? You got to start pressing. You got to start changing up your looks. You can't just let quarterbacks get comfortable. We've seen that act before. Brian, thanks for the super chat.
How sad is it? Sorry, guys.
I was just saying, to Tom's point, Vic's had one good week in 4. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he's a guy that needs to, is absolutely gets in line for his scolding as well. You know what I mean? So, they did a good job last week and in a predictable NFL, which we knew was coming, but still, nice job. And then they were back to, regular form today.
Shit burgers today, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, how bad is it that our best defensive lineman is Brandon Graham?
Yeah.
Our best defensive and most consistent defensive lineman has been Brandon Graham.
Yep.
Not even for big. And we weren't even expecting him to play enough snaps to be impactful, right?
And he's playing so well. He's playing so well that they're asking if he's got another year in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what? Like, wait. You were supposed to be like really limited snaps. You're probably going to be, if you keep this up, you're a pro baller. You know what I mean? Like, let me pay that guy. I mean, you might got to make a couple extra mil off of his last run. Brian, I mean, I'm not going to call him a glorified Danny Dimes because he stinks out loud, but it's bad, and there's no excuses. But everybody's got one for him. Well, not everybody, but enough guys,
I want to go back to Sweeps, what you mentioned in your opening, or where you thought the game was lost. I'm going to go before the half here, right? And yours was a huge part. But what I saw at the stadium there, when we got the ball back with some time left to go down and get 3 or 7 and cut into that lead before halftime.
24-7 at that point.
Yes. And we went 3 and out. And it was the ball we overthrew Kenny Gainwell on the sideline too. I don't know if they showed it on TV, but his body language sucked all day, by the way, right? It was a woe is me body language, right? I don't have any weapons. I can't do this. But when he overthrew it, he just kind of went and shrugged his way off the field. And in my mind, I said, the game is over. I go to my buddy. If we didn't pay what we paid for the seats, I would have left at halftime. Because I knew the game, I knew it wasn't going to get better because it just the body language and then the sequence of the plays. They didn't go anywhere. There was no urgency to try and get 3 points, let alone 7. And he just came off with I did what I could. I you know what I mean? Like, I went through the motions on this drive. That was such a pivotal drive to cut that lead before halftime.
Is that the one that got deflected?
Did it get deflected? The one it sailed over Gainwell's head. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
I'm trying to figure out which play it is. Like, I'm trying. What I'm trying to do is what you're saying about shrugging shoulders. I'm really hoping it was like a deflection and a shrug because of the deflection. I'm hoping.
And that's fair. Because that was
shrugging. If he's shrugging his goddamn shoulders on the field, he wouldn't even play next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll get somebody back. We don't play next week.
Well, true.
They can't hurt us next week. But yeah, I mean, Tommy, I hope that's the case, right? Like, I hope to give the benefit of the doubt there that was.
No, I think what Jordan's right. I don't think it was that play.
Okay.
I think he just overthrew.
That was second down, and I think he just threw it. It was horrible. It was a horrible throw.
Yeah.
So I don't, I can't speak on. Obviously you saw what you saw, so forget about what play. I mean, the moral of the story is you saw what you saw, and I don't like it.
So what we learned,
doesn't matter what exact play it is.
What we learned is Mr. Leader, Mr. all these things is really just a pussycat. That's what we're learning. That and these are fine. The more you know, Because Howie and stupid goddamn binoculars, I hope he saw it. Because you're the one who needed to rush the payment. You got to rush the payment nowadays. Everything's got to get rushed. No. You had an MVP caliber year. Go do it again. Go do it again. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Go do it again. But no, we got to think we're ahead of something Maybe we weren't.
Well, what was it? We were 10-1.
Career's not over.
We were 10-1.
Like, yeah.
He has not been the same since 10-1. He has been a below average quarterback since 10-1.
I'm not trying to do this. Like, I'm not trying to do this. Like, I don't want to start these arguments tonight. But like, I'm out. I'm out. Like I'm officially out. Like, you got to really bring me back in at the quarterback position. Like, you have to. There is simple routine shit that isn't being done.
Yep.
Like, simple stuff, like 101. There ain't nobody in that locker room going to come out and say right now, but you'll hear it 10 years from now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. Like, ain't nobody going to call him out because he maybe is a great teammate and this, that, and third, right? So nobody's going to throw him under the bus. But there is simple stuff being missed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're okay with that. All right. You know what I mean? Like, as a fan base, we're good with that. We don't hold people to a standard of getting better or whatever it is. So it's one really good year and a 10-1 start, and what we've watched since,
and a lot of tush pushes. You know what I mean?
Atrocious. What we've witnessed since that 10-1 start is arguably one of the worst football teams in the NFL.
And there might not be an argument.
No, I don't think there could be. Maybe the Panthers.
Not at least with the expectations around it, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, absolutely. Come on, Carolina, right? Yeah, there's your argument. But Carolina's never had those expectations that we've had, right? Carolina's has it in the last 10, 15, maybe ever, has ever been like the leader, like Super Bowl odds favorite going into a year. You know what I mean? Like, the expectations going on, I'm with you, Tommy. I'm at a loss. I just don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, he had 30 attempts for 158 yards. We're acting like he played in like Buffalo in December. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? Every time somebody brought it up to me, that I said, look at the quarterback's numbers. You don't even have to watch the game. In the NFL in 2024, in 98 degrees in Tampa Bay, all right, did this dude threw for 158 yards. I don't care who's playing and not playing. Like that.
In an
like
offensive league.
Yeah,
in an offensive league.
Yeah, that's like Northwestern versus Boise, versus Boise on a Thursday night game. It's like the Northwestern quarterback. Like, 18 for 30, 158, nothing of substance. He can tell everybody for 4 years that, hey, I was a quarterback at Northwestern. Nobody will ever know yet. Right? You know, it's what it is. Like, I don't know how we watch it and we're like, oh, this is the guy. Like, these poster boys and these banner hangers, right? All these guys, they want to run to his defense. I don't even know what banner hangers.
I love the nose.
Well done, right?
Well
all
done.
These guys, they want to tell you this is it. Like, do you watch it? Like, even when Carson got to his worst and there was no like denying it, we're like, yeah, it's time. You know, we're not saying he's there yet, but it's trending that direction, and I don't know how nobody sees it. Like Trexler says, can you guys tell me one thing that Jalen excels at as a QB?
I mean,
no. You're not allowed to bring that up.
I mean, like I said, the emotion, like, this game is full of emotion. Like, you don't have to be a cheerleader, rah-rah, pom-pom guy, right? But you got to have some kind of pulse. You know what I mean? Like Lamar, I'm just because the game's on TV. I'm just saying, like, the young wide receiver just dropped a touchdown. You know, he ran over to him, put his arm, just kind of gave him a little headbutt and, patted him on the head. It's like, I don't know. Like you said, and people think, oh, well, you're nitpicking. No, dude. It's you're the leader in the clubhouse. Like, every time the camera pans to you on the sideline, you're just standing there stoic. You know what I mean? Like, you're not in the history of football, I've never not seen a quarterback walk up and down, at least a great quarterback, that has, full control of the locker room and who is adored, not walk up and down, talk to the offensive line, talk to the defense. Hey, let's go, get a stop here. Give me the ball back or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this guy just sits there. It just sits there, and it's crazy. It's crazy to me. And like I said, there's, at 2-2, there's, if a normal 2-2, when you're not watching what you're watching, there's no panic there, right? The Cowboys stink, or the Redskins.
Washington might be the best team in the
Yeah,
division.
or the Redskins this good. I don't know, but Jay and Daniels is pretty damn good, right? So kudos to them. But so there's no reason, if you were looking at a 2-2 football team that didn't have gaping holes, and you had a horrible loss to the Falcons or whatever, something like that, and then today you went down there without some guys and you threw in a clunker, but it's week after week. You know what I mean? They escaped Brazil, and then obviously the NFL. We all kind of felt the Saints won. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean it was going to happen. We just felt it. You know what I mean? You just know how the NFL is. So that wasn't a surprise, but still, not an easy place to win. And they were scoring all kinds of points. So kudos to them. So you felt like, oh, maybe they're back, or maybe they righted the ship, and then you have today's performance. So.
Yeah, I mean, Sweets, I think that's so key. It's like, if this was a one-off, it's nothing, right? If this was a one-off, it's nothing. Yeah. But we have watched this now for 15 weeks, if not more, right? Because even when you go into that 10-1, we just kept harping on, hey, we came out with a W. Hey, we came out with a W. Hey, we came out with a W. Well, right? But none of those performances were like, let's go, baby. We're going 6 to midnight.
And that's what. Listen, that's been 2.5 seasons, really.
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Not to cut you off. But the first year it was happening, they were really a good football team. They were finding ways to win, but they were a good football team. They ended up in the Super Bowl, right? Last year, anybody that listens to us, and nobody's saying that we're giving out lottery numbers. Nobody said we're not wrong, but we're telling you how it is on Sundays or on all our platforms every day that we have a show. For the most part. But I know I can only speak to us. We knew last year felt like fool's gold. That start was fool's gold, right? Their ass was on fire. They were burning the candle at both ends, and it was only a matter of time. Now, could we predict the way it was going to end? No, I mean, nobody thought that was going to happen, right? But I thought the worm was going to start to turn. You know what I mean? Just the way they just weren't good enough last year. I knew it was. You felt some kind of. You just felt like they weren't a good football team. Didn't think that they weren't as bad a football team as they were the way it ended. And then still sneaking in the playoff. Limping into the playoffs and getting drilled in Tampa. So this team has that same feel 4 games in. It feels like last year, just with different coordinators and some different personnel. Feels like the same team.
It sure does.
Brian says, fellas, that's 28 turnovers in 22 games.
That's absurd.
He has literally woke Nathan Peterman. He can't defend this turnover connoisseur. Brian, you're spot on, brother.
Well done, Brian.
Yeah. Bill says, Tommy, remember when Nick ran the CJ last week on that play? He doesn't even talk to Hurts and won't even look at him Whatever led to the collapse last year is still there. 9-8, no playoffs. Time to bench and fire. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as much as Nick can go tomorrow or yesterday, I don't know if that's the only thing I'll probably disagree with is 4 games in, I'm not ready to bench and fire yet, but I'll handle all those things at the end of the year.
Fire, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have fired Nick yesterday, but either way, that can wait. Both of those things can wait. They can just wait. Dig your own grave. You know what I mean? There's no point of getting you out of your mess. That's why I don't like even benching a guy worth that much money. No. We're not going to let you off the hook easy here. Letting both of them off the hook easy is, all right, we're going to do 2 changes. No. You ride this mess out, babe.
Yeah, you dug it.
Yeah, you dug. Yep, it's all you. Clean it or see it, and that's where we're at. And Nerdy Sports Guy, I would have fired Nick after Atlanta as well.
Yeah,
but I would have fired Nick numerous times since last year. So I mean, that's just that's why I said it. It's at this point, let them either figure it out together or not. But Jalen's definitely not helping them. as much as Nick's a bad coach. I mean, Jalen's definitely not helping him look smart with anything, and he's definitely not going to help Kellen Moore get another job at this rate.
Yeah,
so,
this is absurd.
I mean, he's hurting a lot of guys because he's not doing the routine things from the pocket that you need to be able to do in this league consistently. And if you can only do it with AJ playing, then we got a bigger problem. Where is Jadeveon Clowney at, John?
I don't know.
I don't know where he's at.
Let's see what the good old Google. I think Carolina. Playing with Carolina right now.
Carolina. Yeah, I'm not going to do the Tanner McKee stuff right now. We're not going to do that. We can't do that.
He might be. I don't know if it's.
Well, we're not wasting time.
I don't know if it's hard in that locker room to be the best thrower, but not debating you're wrong.
Just can't do that one yet. Jacob says that's why I'm panicking, Tom, because we're wasting time. Nick isn't the guy. Jalen isn't the guy, and we need to move on from Howie having anything to do with the draft. So, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I don't think we're wasting time because nothing's going to get done this year in season anyway. So we're wasting time if this continues and we're at the end of the year and we're saying, well, it's okay. We're going to give them another chance. The two of them, right? Then you can make the argument of we're officially then we're wasting time. Richie, I love to know, Rich. Why doesn't Hurts throw him to the left side of the field? Look, he can't. He's the only quarterback that runs that can't throw while on the move, arm side, and then can't go opposite side and throw on the run either. It's just weird. Can't answer that. I mean, Jesse's all in on Archie Manning.
I saw some post about that. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I don't even think he's eligible this year. He only redshirt. No, I don't think he's even eligible. Well, and I don't know if I can sit through 2 more years of this. Yeah, because he only sat 1 year.
He might be up there anyway.
This is his sophomore year.
You're
right, Tom.
Somebody said stockpile picks earlier, and I was like, you might not even have to do that, guys. Everybody calm down. I mean, you might get there. You might get there with everybody healthy.
We might have a couple of top tens anyway. We might have to trade up for it. It'd be all our time.
Don, I'm going there, Donnie. Don't worry. I know he's a freaking loser. The dude's a loser talking about he wants to post resumes tonight. That dude literally wants to post his resume. Are we okay? Can we remove the C?
We didn't tackle at all.
Remove the freaking C. Remove the C.
And he was one of the worst ones, but nobody wanted to tackle today. No, Avante whiffs. CJ whiffs all the time.
It was embarrassing. 4 quarters.
CJ whiffs all the time. Darius whiffed a couple times. I mean, Reed, you know what I mean? Everybody in the secondary whiffed or got drug off. Is pathetic.
I'll get to the rest of them.
Before we get to the rest of them, let's get to 100 likes. We get 110 people watching on YouTube. 117 right now. Can we get 100 likes in here, please?
Don, congratulations, man. That's the Tigers' awesome story. AJ Hinch is a stud manager.
You know what annoys me real quick?
Great young team. I mean, love it.
You know what annoys me, right? AJ Hinch is showing how good of a manager he is, and we obviously know how good Altuve, Bregman, right? Those guys are, right? Why the hell did you have to go and cheat, right? And taint who you are. I mean, you're absolutely right. What AJ Hinch did with that group is unreal.
Yeah, I hear you. I even forgot about that. I don't even pay no mind to that. You know what I mean? Just because I still know how hard it is. And I just remember hitting because I know if somebody messed up and and I know something happened. I'm not, again, we talked about the other day. It's not one of these things that we say, well, it didn't happen. I mean, I just look at it like I would get the beats wrong. Like when my teammates were when my teammates were on second base, they had the sign. I'm like, don't give it to me because you get it wrong, I'm going to absolutely power slam you. So I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So I know, who knows if the beats were right? I mean, who's banging on the drum? I don't know. You know what I mean? But AJ Hitch he's an absolute stud. So what a great story, and I'm happy for the Royals too. So
yeah.
Just awesome stuff over there in the American League. So, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's bonkers.
Tomorrow's been bonkers.
Because my buddy was like, I wonder if you can forfeit one game. Yeah, they could both forfeit one game. They would save pitching.
And they would get in.
Yeah, and they would get in. And I was like, yeah, well, I think that's illegal. And number two, imagine being the first team to say I'll forfeit, and then the Braves or the Mets pull back. They renege. They lie. You're out.
Bill says, question, you guys really think we're only going to lose 4 more games all year? Look at the NFC. 10 wins might not even get you in. Wholeheartedly hope I'm wrong, but I'd fire Nick now. We need that spark. I mean,
well, 10-7, there's 17 games now, so 5 more games, right? You're saying get to 10? Oh, might not get you in. Yeah, I got you.
Who's your spark though, Bill? Right, like you're firing Nick to draw a spark. Understand that, but who's your spark? You thinking Billy Boy's coming in? You think Hoodie's coming in and building that spark? Like, if that's your guy, then it might be, right? But who's your spark? Handing the keys to Kellen? Handing the keys to Vic, right? You know what I mean? Just for the interim, and then Hoodie in the offseason? Who's your spark? I can be in depending on who your spark is.
Brian says, fellas, including the head coach, look at our captains. Go down the line. Point to the bona fide alpha wearing that C patch. A bunch of soft-spoken guys. You're not wrong.
Nope.
You're not wrong. And Chris says, is Jalen lazy? Is Jalen a lazy QB in terms of preparation? I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Yeah, I don't want to try and answer that, Chris, because we're not in the room, right? I hear you.
No, I agree. We can't answer that. Yeah, we don't know that. But I mean,
there's crumbs that might. I mean, there's cookie crumbs that might lead to an answer, but I don't want to go there. I love it. I love it though.
Yeah, guys, I'm not here yet. Like we're not making the playoffs. 1-5. Maybe we don't, right? Maybe we don't. It doesn't. I get it, right? But like, we're 4 in. I got a lot of problems with this football team right now, right? But I'm also not ready to say like they can't be a playoff team, right? It's not how you start, right? Last year we started great per se, win-loss wise. So I'm not saying you want to start like bad, right? But 2-2, you're right there. You got a bye week to see if you can get stuff right? You get a bye week to get a little healthier, get stuff right, and you see where it goes. So I'm not ready to write a season off. Right. I mean, I got a problem with
you're right.
2 guys, but I'm not ready to write it
off. No, you're 100% right. But I think sometimes, and listen, it also could be a game, it also could be a shell game, where we could be looking at the wrong things sometimes. Is it an up top thing? We're always looking, and we cover that. It's not that we don't give them the pass, but we're always looking at the head coach. It's naturally everybody looks at the head coach, quarterback, the personnel, and stuff like that. But is this an organizational thing? Like the last 2 quarterbacks they had, Wentz, he had a knee injury. Then somebody said, "Hey, we gotta reel this dude in. He can't do what he does best, which is be an athlete." Right? Tuck the football and run and make plays. They wanted to make him a pocket guy because of his knee. Okay. So then we move on from him, right? Whatever. He was seeing ghosts. It was time. They drafted Jalen where they drafted him. We thought that was outrageous, whatever. Right. this guy has almost an MVP season. They lose in the Super Bowl. They pay him prematurely, and then all of a sudden they put handcuffs on him. Like he doesn't run anymore. Like he doesn't. So like, what's going on up top? Like, like are they trying to get the full 10 years in? What, like, instead of just the same thing we said with Wentz, like just let him play, right? If the shelf life goes, it goes. If that's a year, if that's 2, playing his best football, and he gets hurt again, right? Because that's the way he plays the game, then such is life. All right. Or and same with same with Jalen. You know what I mean? We're not talking about an elite thrower of the football, right? But you're talking about a guy that can make plays. If you let him, he can make plays in this league. We've seen that, so is he going to win a quarterback challenge in Honolulu? No. Right. But the guy can make he can make some plays.
I love it. I love Honolulu.
He can make some plays.
We'd kill for a QB to go back to Honolulu.
Oh, yeah, we don't know what that's like. No, but you're right, Sweeps. You're right, because it's a valid conversation, and probably not enough time tonight, right, to like dive into like the whole structure of that process. But I would not be shocked at all if, again, like I said earlier, they're trying to make you something you're not. Mm-hmm. They pay you the money, and they give this brand new shiny offensive coordinator.
Go back to 5 too, right?
And you have all these weapons, right? And it's like, well, we're going to sit back there, like extend plays. Like nobody's ever thrown the harness on Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen and said, don't be who you are, right? I mean, Josh Allen thinks more hits than anybody. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever been like, Josh. It's more like, Josh, try not to turn the football over as much, but be who you are. Yeah. That's what makes you Josh Allen. That's why we drafted you, right? It's the same conversation. You drafted a playmaker. Let him be a playmaker. Like, if he gets better in the pocket, then, yeah, it's a win. Like, I'll use Lamar, right? Lamar isn't the best in the pocket, but he's gotten better. He's gotten better. So you allow the guy to get better, but his biggest skill set is run around. Like, oh, then we're going to make Lamar be Joe Montana? No, it's good to get better at something, but you also can't take away that person's biggest strength, right? Because then you're taking away why you paid a guy $255 million. Let's not forget why the money was delivered. It was the number 1 rushing attack in the National Football League in 2022, and he was the big reason why. He was the big reason why. He rushed for over 800 yards. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? That'd be like Baltimore saying, that's not who we are. Like, let's go get Derrick Henry, but that's not who we are. Yeah. Like, Baltimore knows who they are. And did they get in trouble with it sometimes? Of course, right? Of course, right? They'll call, he'll sit back, like even Lamar, sit back there too much. It all happens all around the league, right?
Yep.
But the point is that you gotta let Jalen at least play, like Sweet's saying, play to the guy that got 255 or 250. You play to that guy. Let him be that guy. Stop trying to make this, this missionary generic quarterback. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing, right? And maybe it's him. Right? I don't know. And it doesn't mean he can't do it, right? I'm not saying he can't sit in the pocket and he can't throw in the pocket. I'm not gonna say he can't do it. I'm just saying it's the me with Jalen thing. Forget all the rest is an X's and O's.
It's not his thing.
Forget the X's and O's and him and all the other stuff. Jalen could be a top 10 quarterback in this league every year if he just took care of the football.
Sure.
Which was his big thing in college, was taking care of the football.
And training camp, right? We had post him their training camp or their training camp. No turnovers. How's that working out for us?
I mean, James, my favorite storyline so far in the NFL. I mean, yeah, it's got to be the Minnesota Vikings as a whole. I mean, 2-5. What are you telling me to stop? Because I don't want to listen. I don't think he's good enough. I mean, I don't know how much more clear I can be about that. That being said, the conversation we're having, you got to allow him to play to the guy he is and not the guy you want him to be. No relationship works that way. You're going to try making your significant other something they aren't and what you want them to be. Good luck with that relationship working. Let me know. It don't work like that. Like it don't work. Like I'm gonna make you something here. So
yeah, James, I hear you, man. I call him, nicknamed him Crockpot Darnold today. You know, 7 years. Took him 7 years to cook, but he's cooking, man. He's cooking now. So I hear you.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah, Maddox is trash. I don't know why Maddox is even playing as much as he does.
It's a good question, though, James.
Tristan, I don't know, but today isn't on Devin White not playing.
At what point? At what point? What do we have to lose at this point with Devin White? Like, if he's not good enough to be on the field, they cut him.
Well, you're not going to do that.
But you know what I mean? Like, our
Yeah,
defense was trash today, and it has been all year except for one game.
Yeah,
but if he's not good enough to be on the field, or at some point do we say, hey, we see what we have with these guys. Let's throw Devin White out there for a game. Let's make it clearly obvious that he's gone, right? Or he has nothing left.
Greg, I think the Kobe is like, it's nice that he's on the field. It's nice that he's healthy, but I haven't seen anything from the Kobe Dean yet.
Me either.
That's made me say to myself, like, that's the future for the next 7 years at linebacker for us. And I'm not, like, again, like, high on the kid, obviously part of that monster defense. I get it, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. Like, I mean, again, I'm not, you guys would have thought that we were getting, Fred Warner here. Like, the way I talked about Devin White this offseason, you would have thought it was Fred Warner. That's not what I've been saying, though. I've been saying the guy's going to walk into 100 fucking tackles on a football team where nobody fucking tackles.
Where no one tackles
at all. Worse? Can it be any worse? That's all Tom's saying.
What's he going to do, miss tackles?
Yeah,
we missed 15 today.
Like, shit. Brian, I'm going to wait on this one, all right? I got to wait on this one. But, Bill, that's the problem. Like, that's why I have not gone after Howie Roseman, which I like to do, Bill, because the team was promising, and Greg remembers it. Yeah. I said, I'm not going to look back on this roster and start blaming the general manager of it, because this roster to me is a 12-win football team. It's not going to be that, right? But that's what this roster is supposed to be. So I don't care about anything. This isn't the Howie blast train. Like, you want to, I can blast Howie for paying the quarterback too early. That's a different conversation, right? I can do those blames all day. But the roster, as it was assembled, I don't have a problem with. There's a lot of talent on this roster. So, you know what I mean? I'm not going to crush Howie this year. I'm not going to do it. If other people want to do it, fine. Like I get it. I get it. There's probably holes. There's holes on every football team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's also banked on a quarterback to take steps forward too. Yeah. So as much as we say you paid him too early, well, you're paying him early, and you're also projecting, right? Part of that's projection. So not letting him off the hook. Defense has zero talent. Jacob, come on, Jacob. Are you serious now?
We saw the resume. We saw the resume of apparently our best cornerback after the game.
I'm not telling you this defense the 85 Bears, but there's a lot of high picks on this defense, and there's money here too. So you want to tell me there's holes, Jacob? I'm in agreement, but money was spent on this defense, and there's guys that have a track record of playing high level football. Say like Bryce Hoff has been on a milk carton, but the guy had 10 sacks last year.
Yep.
So it doesn't happen by accident when you're always trailing in New York like they were last year. It wasn't like he was playing with an offense on the other side of the football that had a bunch of leads.
Yeah.
Let's keep it in mind here. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Jacob. How many wins did you have them having? Like, what was your Eagles prediction? That's all. That's all I would ask you or anybody else, because the same conversation came up last year, and that's my biggest point. I'm on the other side of that. You know what I mean? So when people, and that was my biggest gripe with people bitching last year, was people had 11, 12, even 13 wins last year. And then the snowball started to pick up snow downhill in weeks 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it was. That's when people were doing the Superman meme and saying, well, this roster sucks. So, you can't have it both ways. You had 11, 12, 13 wins. And what do you mean the roster sucks? And once again, not defending last year's roster. I'm just saying, like, you can't have it both ways. So if the defense, in your eyes, is trash and doesn't have any players on it, then did you have the Eagles at 8 and 9? Did you have it 9 and 8? Where did you have them? Because, or did you think that the offense was going to score 34 a game and they were going to win 34-30 games, which you could have. Maybe that's where you're at. So love to hear that, and love to hear from you.
Jacob says Quinion looks good, but other than that, maybe Jalen Carter. I had 500 because his defense stinks.
Gotcha.
We didn't have any talent.
Fair enough.
Last year. So what did he do to get it better? Well, I mean, he obviously upgraded the linebacker position. He obviously upgraded the secondary. I mean, you like, if we're going to be honest here, let's be honest. Like, let's just call things how we say it. He upgraded the secondary. We can't say he didn't, okay? Because on paper we were all saying it, right? He upgraded the linebacker room. Right? Hassan Reddick demanded to be paid or leave. Not saying it was the right decision, but he wasn't willing to pay it. Okay, so he trades him, and he signs Bryce Huff, who hasn't worked out 4 games in, even a little bit. Okay, but let's not act like when you use a first-round pick on a corner that's playing day one, and you have another guy that you use a second-round pick on that we're all so fond of, you can't say he didn't upgrade the talent of the football team. He goes back and gets CJ, regardless how he's played, regardless on how he's played right now. We can't say that was not an upgrade to what we were running out there last year, right? What we were running out there last year. So I don't want to hear that this defense was not upgraded, because it was. Has it played like that? No. But was it upgraded? Yes. Okay. It was, right? It just was. Those guys haven't fit yet, right? I'm not a Nolan Smith guy, but this is year 2. So natural progression, you're expecting a jump, right? Okay. Josh Sweat was a guy that was signed back who should be a double-digit sack guy. He has not been.
His first one today. Then jumps off sides.
Dominated one game. You know what I mean? Jalen Carter dominated one game. So, again, is that on the general manager? Yes. Those guys not panning out yet is, of course, on him. I'm not going to say it's not. But we can't say it wasn't upgraded.
Yeah, he went and got a coordinator that's known for his defense, who has had success in this league as a defensive coordinator, not a head coach, not anything else, but as a defensive coordinator.
He got head coach. That's how he became head coach because of his defenses. Yeah. Right. And then the same thing with Kellen Moore. Like, you go out and get 2 respected guys. Like, that's why I'm not going to run from a conversation 5 weeks ago, because then I'd be a liar. Right. I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to do the Howie blame right now on this year, because this should be better. So, okay, then let's look at reasons why it's not. Can Nick Sirianni couldn't motivate me for anything. Like, nothing he says ever is motivational. Like, everybody has that coach, like, they can say too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But again, we've moved on from coordinators. We've done the whole thing. Players got to go play. Right? And they haven't. So, I mean, I don't.
And that's the head coach's job, right? Come out after the game and say, I didn't have my team prepared. We're ready to go. Well, then what else did you do? That's your one job as a head coach, is to motivate and have your team ready to go. We all watched. We knew you weren't ready to go. We knew your team wasn't ready to go. So does that mean that you lost your team?
Listen, this is on the quarter. We can talk about the defense and we can talk about everything else, right? Like, I'm literally going to do this. Like, we're talking about everything else. Yeah. Like, Jacob, did you believe in Jalen Hurts coming into this year? Because, if you didn't believe in the defense, you would look at this offense and say, okay, that's an 11, 12-win team. So, like, that, like, even if you didn't believe in Jalen, like, even if Jalen wasn't your favorite quarterback in football. Like that's where I'm like, I'm not doing the Howie thing. Like our quarterback has not made anybody around him better yet this year. So like, I mean, it literally starts and ends there in the National Football League.
Yeah.
It starts and ends there. But for some reason, we pick and choose in this city. We become picky. We become, hey, pick this one. We pick and choose how we want to see it, how it fits our agenda. With Donovan, everybody cared about body language. Now Jalen can literally be a freaking, I got a skeleton sitting out front of my house right now. He's literally a skeleton just sitting there with the Eagles jersey on. He's just sitting there. Hey, I'm not moving. I get paid for not moving. Like what? Like Sweep talked about earlier. Like every great QB was a motivator of some sort, right? Like I mean, it's your job. You're not getting paid just to lead by example. You're not freaking Chase Utley, bro. You know what I mean? Like you're not, because if you're leading by example, then you're not turning the football over 28 times in 22 games.
Oh.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, then you're leading by example. So when your example is shit, then you better have an example vocally then. Like, I don't know what else to say. When your example shit, you better make up for it somewhere. So the reason we're 2-2, and the biggest reason we've had the collapse we've had is because of the quarterback. And the head coach has just as much blame in that too. But the quarterback has regressed. But we want to pick and choose. No, I'm not picking and choosing. Jalen and Nick are the two guys that are my two guys that I'm haunting. All right? But if Jalen didn't turn the football over, we're winning games.
Absolutely.
I got my issue with Nick. We're not taking points and doing other things, right? For sure. You know what I mean? I'm not going to run from that, but Jalen hasn't been good enough. I mean, Jalen not even hasn't been good enough. There's rookie quarterbacks right now playing at a higher level than Jalen Hurts. And one's in our damn division.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's like night and day. That's what Greg was saying last week, or what I was saying when I threw that out there. He was like, it's only 2 weeks in, and he was right. He's not wrong, but there's no sample size except for 4 games. But Jay Daniels looks pretty delicious, man.
Absolutely. He sure does.
And that's why I'm not out in the season yet, because you have a
this year CJ
that's leading, your division. Washington isn't as good as their 3-1 record, even though he's played really good. There's deficiencies on that football team still, because obviously they were a high pick for a reason, right? I don't think they're Houston of last year, but who knows? NFL's tricky, right?
Yeah,
it's funky. You get a quarterback playing at a high level, like we're talking about. The next thing you know, you get 11 wins. That's why I'm not done on the year yet, because you still haven't played a divisional game yet. Like it's hard to be.
And we haven't. Yeah,
it's hard to quit when you're 2-2. You're 2-2. We haven't played any divisional football yet. There's 17 weeks. Like I can't be out. Like I can't quit on them. Like as much as I see the problems, I can't be like, all right, I'm out. No, 2 weeks from now, I'm ready to go. Let's go win a game. Let's get to 3-2, right? You know what I mean? So it's hard to be out when the division is up for grabs.
And we've seen history do that, right? Like we go back to the Patriots era, right? How slow did they start through September and early October, only to turn it around when they needed to, right? You know what I mean? Like there's numerous teams who start slow, and we're not even slow. We're not 1-3. We are 2-2. So as frustrating as it is, and as much as we've gone through in the first 4 weeks, we are 2-2. And Tommy, as you mentioned, we have not played a divisional game. So we could go 500 the rest of the year outside the division, but win every division game, and that's all that matters at the end.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that's why, like I said, I would agree and disagree with your statement there. It's early, and you're 100% right. I just disagree with the Patriots comparison and the Chiefs, because those guys, they're winners. They're battle tested. They know how to win.
Fair.
So what I mean, because the Chiefs are 4-0, but again, not an impressive 4-0. Just that's what they do. But and same thing last year. I couldn't wait as a Dolphin fan to go to Kansas City. in 30-degree weather. I was like, yeah, man, I'd rather play them than Buffalo. And that was a mistake, so,
fair.
yeah,
You're right.
But, there is a ton of season left, and the NFC doesn't look to be, a powerhouse again, and the division surely doesn't. So, you're not worried about the Cowboys. You're not worried about,
Jacob, I love you.
you're not worried about the Cowboys. You'll take the Redskins for what they are and the Giants for what they are. So, you're surely not in any jeopardy of winning the division.
Yeah.
No, that's all my point. That's all my point. So it's like, I'm not going to do this yet, right? There's a lot of problems, and, we'll see if they get fixed. And if they don't, we know what direction we're going. But Jacob, you're not wrong. These are all things that I know over the years we've agreed on, I'm sure. Right. I mean, I set this all up back in the day where it was Jefferson was the easy one. Everybody told me he played the slot. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. He just walks into 100 catches in the SEC, but couldn't play. Okay. Well, here you go. You miss on that. And I have no problem because Devontae's my son. But to your point, that's where you have a Parsons or a Surtain, right? And I'm not saying that your defense is perfect, right? Because, one was on a defense that gave up 70, and one is on a defense this year that's not playing well as they should be in Michael Parsons. So we get it, but the premise is there. The point you're making is,
listen, Jacob, you're spot on. Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, you just can't live in the sports in life or in sports as a woulda, coulda, shoulda, because you'll absolutely keep yourself up all night, because what you just put there, it was unbelievable, and we already knew that. But seeing it on paper is mind-boggling. Could you imagine the Philadelphia Eagles, Justin Jefferson, Kyle Hamilton, and where was the other one? I forget.
Oh, it could have been Parsons or Surtain.
Parsons, yeah. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you have Hamilton and Surtain, you're probably the best secondary in football.
Yeah.
You're up there. No, nobody's trashing Smitty. He's my son. Nobody trashed him.
Nah.
We love Smitty.
No,
we're just talking about the trickle down.
I think Jacob said it because he's not a number one. I don't think he was trashing him either. He just.
Oh, I think he's a 1, but that's fine. Jacob.
I've said 1A before. I don't like his. I've always worried about his body. That's the only thing. I don't worry about his route running, his ability to catch the football, his ability to get open, his ability to finish. I don't think anything. I'd never in question. So I've always questioned his size, and that worried me. And obviously, last week's cheap shot, has put the guy out. So other than that, he's been popping back up the last couple of years. Yeah, he's been possible. He's been popping back up.
That would be anybody's concern. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as I like him, he is a little guy. James, it's not just you. Is it just me? Or I understand there's a lack of production on the offense with some guys out. But as a QB, you have to work with what you got. How many times do we see elite QBs use street players and make it work? I love Jalen, but I don't think he's capable of being that guy. Bad pocket awareness, holds the ball too long, and doesn't see it feel as well. He doesn't use anyone not named Goddard, Smith, and Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said it before. I don't think we. Yeah, no, absolutely, bud, absolutely, James, spot on. And I think you've heard it on this show before. And we said it years ago when they picked him up. Nobody's going to not root for the kid because it's an amazing story. He's an amazing human. He's a great dude. He's a great teammate. He stuck in there. He stuck it out at Alabama when he lost his job. It was the easiest thing to do was tuck his tail and run. And he didn't do that. So, there's some character traits there. There's some great stuff. There's some great stuff there. So, nobody here roots against him. You want to see that guy be successful. You know what I mean? But that being said, I don't think he's the guy. And that's just, you can take that for what it's worth. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't mean, if an Eagle fan says it, doesn't mean he's a homer. Either way, it's just, unfortunately, it's reality.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, you're right. I mean, we were scalping him. I mean, we were. I just, I let those things go over time, and then I talk about what he's put together this year, and that's where I'm like, well, on paper, this is 11, 12-win football team. I mean, it should be, like, I mean, it should be. So, then it becomes down to like, listen, when you're not playing well, man, it's everything. It's everything, but it starts with
the whole damn team.
It starts with the quarterback. Dude. Not enough guys want to say that, but I mean, these are guys that don't watch football long enough. This league's been a certain way. That's why these guys get $250 million. Because this league's been a certain way forever, man. That's why teams are like. That's why teams' franchises project in one way or the other based on hitting that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like your organization is defined.
Yeah.
Like some guys get lucky.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's just,
No, you're right. Like I said, we try not to go back. We're revisionist history, but like, let's just even skip, let's just skip the Jefferson one because, in about 400 more yards, he's going to be the leading yards receiver in the first 5 years in NFL history.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. So let's just forget about him because that'll make you cry yourself to sleep if you're an Eagles fan. So let's just forget that. We're talking about the following year, and to Jacob's point, talking about not having players on defense and all that stuff. Let's forget about Surtain. Surtain's awesome. You'd love to have him. Micah Parsons is an absolute problem, and a team that cannot get to the pass rusher, a team that can't rush the passer, would have a guy like that, a Swiss Army knife, to do it all, put his hand in the dirt, run sideline to sideline, and just create havoc on defense. I mean, you love to have him. I mean, goodness gracious. And he ended up on your most hated rival.
Yep.
And they don't know how to use him. I mean, he still produces, I'm saying. They can't get it done with him because they can't get out of their own way. And they might not have money to pay him.
He's gonna be an Eagle next year. But isn't that typical though, right? We get the guys coming back, right? We get the guys after the fact.
And that just goes to my dad's point all those years ago, not just about just any of the Philly teams. You feel like they don't do enough in their own backyard. I mean, Parsons played at Penn State. You don't need to be, just turn on your TV. But let's forget about turning on your TV. Just go down, hop in the car, and go watch some games. Go participate in the whiteout one night, just watch that guy be the best player on the field.
Yeah. Fun time.
Yeah, fun time.
Those whiteouts are pretty fun.
Yeah,
enjoy yourself,
guys. I'll be right back. I gotta, as you can see, we're just wanting to sleep like that.
Oh yes, dude, that's the greatest thing. Like, how are these kids comfortable, right?
Like,
it would stay like that if I don't go help his life out. You know what I mean?
Ass up.
Or it'll just end up on the ground, which is fine. Last night I literally watched them roll out,
roll out,
and then pop up and just jump back in. I'm like, that didn't even phase you, huh?
Roll out.
All right.
Little Luda. All right, we get some Luda with the rollout.
Yeah, what's up, Peter?
Pete, what's
I've
up,
never
bro?
seen so many people actually agree that Jalen has stunk. You know what I mean? Like this year. Like I haven't.
If you agree that Jalen has stunk, hit that like. We just got to 50, boys. Come on, fam.
Come on, 100 for a loss. Make her 2 weeks.
We must have all the realists tonight because, I mean, if you're ever floating around social media, man, the defense team is out and about. They are AI generated. You know what I mean? But to Tom's point, it seems like
look at you, AI generated.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll drop a nugget, buddy. You know that.
Guy, look, he's 22.
Hey, tell Cass I said hello. I'll just but Peter,
24 hours.
We hear you, Pete, and it's Greg alluded to it earlier about the first quarter. Like, if that's not the biggest disgrace, I don't know what else is. I mean, 4 weeks in, we're the only team. I say, wait, cheese and crackers, stop that. The Eagles are the only team in the NFL to do not have a point in the first quarter. 4 weeks in,
Unreal.
Crazy. And that goes to, like you said, to all the field goals that he's not, that he's decided not to kick. That stuff adds up. And it just, it just creates some bad juju. But
creates banananess.
But right? We're with you, Pete. We're wondering what's going on there too. Again, that's it was a part of Greg's monologue when he was answering the poll question. Saying like, when is the game plan going to change? What is going on? Like what? They're just not putting their players in the right spot. If it's a Jalen and a Barkley and a Goddard game, then make sure that their handprints are all over.
And that should be enough, right? Like that should be enough to compete.
Yeah, for sure.
Against the Bucs, right? You're not competing with the Bills or the Chiefs with that. Well, you could compete with the Bucs. And it was about freaking 102 degrees over there. This wasn't December in Philly or in Buffalo where you don't want to tackle, you don't want to hit. It's tough for you to get loose.
Yeah.
They're talking about how they started the IVs 2 days before, a couple days before, so we could prep for the heat and the exhaustion. So what? You came into the game today already defeated because you already gave into the weather. Bucs didn't look defeated; they are ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I think New Jersey, the tri-state area is pretty disgusting too.
Yeah.
Not compared to Florida. I'm just saying, but it's not like it's 60, 50 and 60 degrees here. I mean, it's been gross here too. Like I don't know. That's comical to me too.
I need that breed of buns merch if it's your standards. Thanks, Brian, for the super chat, brother.
Thanks, Brian.
Maybe Alicia Parks can say Nick has gang ties. Chris, appreciate the super chat.
We need you need a leak, a good leak every once in a while.
Yeah, who do I got? I got them splitting, Don. I really do. I got them splitting. I know it's boring, but it's tough to win a doubleheader.
It is.
Especially knowing that they got to turn around the next day.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's going to be the bananas part.
Yeah, you win. Yeah, exactly. You win that first one. Sure, you like to beat a 5. You like to knock out your rival.
Yeah,
all that good stuff. But you gotta be smart about it too. You know what I mean? So, because I think what is Sale going game 1?
I would assume, right?
Yeah,
you're not going to try and.
I was just going to say, right? He's definitely throwing.
He's definitely throwing some point tomorrow, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then he's probably done for the other series, which is again bananas.
Well, like you said, that's what my point is. Are they going to roll the dice and throw them in game 2 if they lost? Or are they and see what the hell happens?
Yeah.
Because then you have them there for the wild card thing. But
it's a strange situation.
It is really strange. It is strange.
It almost makes you wonder, like, all right, I get it. Like, this doesn't usually happen, but, like, at what point does MLB come in and be like, all right, you guys are off Tuesday, right? Push it back a day. You know what I mean? Like, just for the sake of the game, right? I mean, that's not – I don't care who we're fans of and who we don't like.
You still got to travel.
You got that's so tough.
You're playing 2 games.
Play a doubleheader and then push that series back 1 game.
Yeah, don't make it.
You have an off day already. I think that ends on Thursday. They don't play till Saturday.
No, it's you're right, and that would have been worthy of a crumb right there. Because that's what they do. They cater to TV. They're missionary. Yeah. They cannot change things. Like you knew this was coming last Wednesday or last Tuesday when you canceled games Wednesday and Thursday because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
So you had a week in advance to, and all you got to do is, if a game gets changed, then, that hometown, that home city is the teams are notified and then, the fans make plans accordingly. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no reason to jam that in, especially with travel.
Where'd this go? Where'd that Crumb go? Where did Crumb go? Matt, what did Doug Peterson say? chime in. Let me know. I love a good Dougie Crumb. I love a good Dougie Crumb. I wanted to get to Bill. Bill said, sorry, I had to play better. Those losses on me. It all starts with me. We need to be better. There's things we need to work on. We'll take a look at everything. We need to. Yes, Bill, you're absolutely right. Shut the F up. Yes. Jose, this team has been playing like they don't like their coach for 10 weeks. Jose, you could probably go back even further than that, right? But yes, at a minimum, it's been 10 weeks. Yes. Sweet part of the now he finna start slap. I can't even read. But Donnie's in on new hip sweeps.
Well, my daughter, asked me if she can dye my beard on, and I was like, all right, just do it orange, I guess.
If Jacob, this is interesting. If Raiders start to go south, any chance you could get Max Crosby, maybe Mac or Bosa? Trying to see if there are any teams we can get an impact with a defensive player. I think Mac or Bosa, or specifically Mac with his contract, is probably easiest out of the three. Jacob, I know they were. Come with Harbaugh coming in and having to reset everything. They're Mac is probably on the chopping block or at least trade block. But I don't know if they absolutely would really go down that role. I don't think there's any chance of Crosby.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you never know, Jacob. I mean, you got to, like I said, the phone should be always open for anything. But I expected Chargers. He's such a good coach. I don't know. I expect them to be competitive all year. So I don't know. What they would, when they would pull the plug or what they would do. Definitely not Bosa.
Yeah.
Even though he's banged up a lot, that's their linchpin. But yeah, you love some Max Crosby. I can't see him getting out of Vegas either. But who knows?
Bryce has been benched for last. Yeah, I mean, Bryce isn't very good, but yes, he's got nothing around him. Kick the 3 shirts. Jose, this has been my thing too, right? Like the scripted plays. Where is Barkley? Why is he not involved at all? It's purely amazing.
I'll say this. Just listening to something on my way back down, right? This almost sounded like a football team, like after the loss, even though they said like there's no excuses and guys were out. To me, it's almost like we went down here like a scheduled loss.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said when you left, Tommy. Like,
oh, did you?
Well, not necessarily that, but they already threw out that they were IVing the guys a couple of days ahead of time, right? Like, let's start the IVs because we know it's going to be hot. Like, you were already starting with excuses. You were already coming in, already having a blame in place.
Yeah, training camp's in August, and it's hot as hell, dude. I don't care where you're at. I mean, like, it's
yeah. You're not going to Miami. You're not going to Miami around here. 12.
Yeah,
you're not going to Miami in week 12 from like Buffalo, and like, oh, we got to play in 85. Like, we're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
That I don't even buy into that, but they're always looking for things like that. I hear you, but to me, it's like, oh, no AJ, no Devontae, and no Lane. It's like almost like, oh well, we were supposed to lose this game in a way. Like I don't look at it like that. I'm not saying they're saying that, but it's just like sounds like. What do you guys say? You know what I mean? What are you guys getting at?
Trouble down in Jacksonville, Matt. Doug defensive when asked about his job security. Basically threw his players under the bus and defended Press Taylor. Imagine defending a guy with the name of Press.
He's been defending Press Taylor. He's been defending Press Taylor forever, but
Doug hasn't learned anything from his time in Philly. His blind loyalty to Press Taylor will continue to be his downfall.
Greg just loves this. Like, we're going through it, and he's worried about Jacksonville.
I got the who goes first, Nick or Doug? Nick or Doug? I got the bulletin board. Who goes first?
Taking bets. It might be Doug.
Brian's benching Jalen for 2 gloves, and he said earlier he wants to fight Jalen. gotta pull it up. Great. I love it. I
Love
love
me
it.
some, love me some Brian. Love me some Brian.
There you go. I can fight Jalen Hurts right now. I'm not gonna lie. I love it, Brian. I love it. I could too, right? It is what it is, right? But the Eagles, I said this about the Phillies a couple weeks ago, it's the same thing with the Eagles every week, right? Like the Eagles are in a spot where you have a huge amount of your fan base traveling every game to see you. Every game. Whether that's, you know what I mean? Like good, bad, or indifferent. And then you lay duds like this. Wins or losses are going to happen. But you can't just show up and just absolutely be out-competed and out-gamed every time. I mean, there's people spending hard-earned dollars. And I know it doesn't matter to them, right? But, I mean, there's people spending money to come out and support you. And you wait till the end of the second quarter to show a pulse? Like, that's absurd.
Yeah, it's not a great product right now.
No.
It really is.
And again, I say we, right? But it was green in that stadium. There was a ton of Eagles fans. Probably 60-40 Eagles. I mean, we booed them off the field in the first half. The boos were louder than the cheers for the Bucs.
Yeah, that aged well for us.
We were out in the concourse during Saquon's run. The place erupted like it was a home game. It was bananas how many people were there. Granted, who doesn't want to come to Florida in September, right? Like, oh, you got to really twist my arm to go to Tampa in September. But it's bananas what the product is once you get in there. I left after the second. It's funny, after the second series, we left to go up to get food. And the people sitting next to me like, oh, you guys leaving already? And I almost felt like saying, I know how this game's going to turn out already. Like, I could go right now and like beat the traffic back to Orlando and watch the second half.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was, you knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
It was one of those. And then you thought like, okay, they showed a little sign of life. And you're like, okay, don't give a team a chance, right?
Yeah.
And we sort of felt like we were back in it. And this
right there,
that drive.
right there.
They absolutely were back in it.
That second quarter.
That's not even a false
where
statement.
Sweeps was the early part of that third quarter, right?
Yeah,
that part of the game was it.
Wasn't a false statement. Wasn't a homer statement by you. I mean, that's the true statement. Like as lost as that game was, in the first quarter, first half, 24-0, and like this might turn into 41-0. That's what it looked like. To get it, 24-7, and then you score right after half, and you're down 10, and you get a stop, and and it just. Like I said, then they blocked the extra point. And they had opportunities. I mean, they didn't get a stop. Excuse me. Down 10 was the 3rd and 7 and the 3rd and 11.
Yeah,
that led to the touchdown. So they had opportunities to show that they're a good football team.
Absolutely did.
Dealing with adversity and dealing with injuries and loss of players. A terrible start and poor coaching, whatever you want to do, poor play on the field, mistake after mistake. They had an opportunity there in the third quarter to show everybody in the league that they're a good football team, and they didn't do it. And that was it, So,
yeah.
And it doesn't mean that the season's over. I'm just telling you that was your chance to make a statement in the third quarter, right, and get this thing and make this thing really uncomfortable for Tampa Bay.
Because it was close, it would have gotten there.
Game. Yeah, it gets you to a one-score game, and assholes will be tightened, and we know how Baker performs. When the pressure cooker, it's easy to, when you're playing from front, it's easy to be a front runner, and hit every pass when things are going your way and you're cruising. You know what I mean? But you see how when things get to crunch time, assholes tighten up.
Yeah.
And that's why before, like to your point, before the half, they had an opportunity. They had, there was a shit drive. They had the punt. and then Tampa was still getting froggy, and Baker was trying to give it back to us.
Yeah.
Give it back to the Eagles. There I go again. You two guys are, I've been hanging out with you guys too long. I said we and us. I got to knock this off.
Well, I'm sitting there wondering why they're not running the ball.
Yeah, that's what
I said. Why are you not running the ball? Make it at least them use the timeouts. Like if you're going to give the ball back, at least give no timeouts. You threw the ball, incomplete passes, and left 2 timeouts. Now, granted, that was the series where we were just like, whatever. We're here going to go through the motions.
Well, you're up 24/7. You threw the ball 47 times. You know what I mean? He celebrated that, John. You know what I'm saying? That Devin White celebrated Jalen's turnover.
Oh, that's not good.
Wow. Huh.
All right. Maybe we don't have to find a spot for him.
Oh, Don does this right now for 3 more years. Who y'all taking, Jalen or Dak?
I mean, Dak's a better thrower of the football. All right. I mean, if you're asking me, but Dak's a loser. So I mean, so that's a question that it's. I mean, I don't know who wants to answer that. Yeah, I mean, who wants to answer that? You know what I mean?
Jalen's 1 more playoff game, so give me Jalen.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I hear you.
It's a poo-poo salad, however you look at it.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing in that, but just lettuce and
poo.
Beet grass.
Oh, Keith. There's my boy Keith. He says, why are we even talking this shit? Was over before the season even started. That'll be the problem.
So, Keith.
And I'll never disagree with Howie being a problem. I just don't think this year is on him right now. I think there's things on this roster that aren't as good as we were hoping 4 weeks in, but I think a big one is the quarterback. So if you want to blame Howie, blame him 2 years ago, like I said. And like you said, Keith, we're boys on the book. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We agree with Darius being a loser. We've talked about this for years. We felt like we were on an island, just me and Keith Howard, just freaking lighting Darius up.
Island talk.
Because we both knew he was a pussycat.
Yeah.
So when you aren't making big plays and then you don't want to tackle, you got a spot right here. Because a young guy I can put in is going to want to tackle. So, you know what I mean? You're not Revis Island. You're not Deion Sanders. You weren't those guys even in your prime. All right. So I don't care about your resume, Darius. You're acting like you're a gold jacket. You know what I mean? You're acting like you're a gold jacket. That's how he talks. That's how he talks. I'm not saying I don't think he's a gold jacket, but that's how he talks. So, I mean, that's a guy with a C on his jersey, man. It's a guy on a C. That's my crumb of the week, too. That's a guy with a C on his jersey coming out here, blocking people, not us, but blocking people, restricting who sees his post. And previous to that, he wants to list his resume and say, when you're talking bad about my name, make sure you talk about the good. You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, why, bro? You just put out a bio? Like, I give a shit about your I give a shit about your resume after a beatdown. Like, nobody cares about you that much.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares about you that much. Like, they'll automatically go on the defense train. Right after that, I got major problems with that guy being a leader of my football team. Any way, shape, or form. So I don't know who needs to have the conversation about removing the damn C, but you can start with removing his C.
Robert, love it.
Love it, Robert.
In the midst of the stream, Jalen
tremendous comment.
Accumulated 3 more turnovers to add to his stat line.
Eagle fans are, you got to laugh to avoid crying because it's 100% true. You know what I mean? So it's a tremendous dynamite dropping.
Here you go from a day.
I agree.
I love it.
Mitchell, Cooper, and Ringo. Go at it with the young guys. Like, as I'll say again, they can all come at me. don't care.
Yeah.
Darius Slay stinks. Stinks. I don't care about anything else. And even if he is good, okay, he's not a captain. He's not a captain. Captains are guys that want to get fucking physical, man. And if they're not getting physical, they got 5 picks a year. You understand? Like, ball finds your hand.
2 defensive scores, you know?
Yeah, like something.
Scooping
Like, you can't be nothing and then want to tell people got to call you by a certain name. Like, this is where me organizationally, I move on from guys like that. If we're trying to build a culture, I move on from the me's. Because you ain't winning this league with a bunch of me's. Now, if that guy's a me, but he's a pimp, we can win with that. We can win with that. We can work with that. But when you're not as good as you once were, I love confidence and bravado. But if you have no feel, I got to move on from guys like that. Now, I love before the game, he was working with Q on technique and all that stuff. I love that stuff, right? So I'm not telling you he doesn't have leadership capabilities, but guys got eyeballs in film rooms. It's a dick on the table talk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's when you find out what guys are packing. You don't find it out in the shower.
Everything.
You ain't finding it out in the shower. You find it out on Monday.
Everything.
I got that dick.
Everything you do in this league is on film.
Like, you just find out sides. Like, how'd you know how big it was? We just watched film. You know what I mean? I'm not walking around with a 10-incher. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You know if a guy packs a punch down there. Big, small, or indifferent. You just know what guy's rocking with something between his legs. And then you got certain guys like Darius, you're like, well, he just wants to be called Slay. That's weird. You know what I mean? And he don't want to tackle nobody. So, like, how you go to war with guys like that? Like, at least GJ's missing everybody, but he's around everything. I can live with it. I can almost live with it. You run around, you're like a chicken with your head cut off. You're not breaking down on any play, period. But at least you're just flying around missing shit.
Yeah,
I think guy flying around missing them. Oh well.
Listen, your teammates now. Your teammates now. Like we played. You know, we played sports all our lives. You know, your teammates know. You know what I mean? Your teammates know. I mean, like there's guys that check a bag. There's guys that have a carry-on, and then there's guys that have a separate bag for their nutsack. You know what I mean? That's just, and you know the guys that are 2 bag guys. Most of us are three bag guys. But there's guys you're like, hey Billy, 2 bags. I see you. You got your 2 bags. Yeah. Slay's a 2 bag guy.
That's great. He references. Robert says, "Where's this Vic Fangio defense I've been hearing about? I'm so pissed I could punch a kitten in the face."
I hate cats. So I'm
I like cats. So we can always punch kittens.
No, I like a kitten. A good kitten's nice, right? Cats are horrendous. Nobody wants a cat. Like, if I could just get kittens and just get rid of them. I mean, I'll get canceled tonight. But
you got 9 lives. You're all right.
He's a cat. He's officially a cat. There's the window. There's the doors open. But yeah, I could punch a cat for sure. And right now, yes, I could line up a kitten. This is a swift kick.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, Robert. Vic's had one good week. Vic's had one good week. Oh, there it is. That list is coming in.
These are our people tonight. Jordan. Like, we got it's our family in here tonight.
A lot of lists are coming out. Yep.
A
lot of guys looking over the shoulder. Yep. Incredible. Twice, Brian. Twice. Once caused a fumble. The other one made Cooper not missed it completely because he got knocked over. That is correct. But tremendous play on that 2-point on the block PAT.
Yeah, and he almost got another one.
Great effort by Ringo on the block PAT. Unbelievable.
He almost got another one.
Yeah.
Well, even like you even start talking about Ringo, Isaiah Rogers, other guys. Like I mean, that's I'm not saying that's our whole issue. I mean, we gotta.
No, yeah,
It's one
I'm
up
sure.
front, and that's where I didn't see Jordan Davis today, right? So there was no
Jalen Carter.
No, there was no pass rush today. But this is where it's on Vic. Like, you're bringing four.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
constantly
sure.
bringing four.
Yeah,
You're letting a quarterback get in rhythm, right? And like that was a Jonathan Gannon missionary we've talked about. Like you can't let a guy, especially Baker, right, and a lot of pocket guys, you can't let them get in rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately I'm blitzing up the gut. You know what I mean? I'm bringing pressure up the middle, right? Because I want to make that guy uncomfortable from Jump Street, right? You don't have to bring the house all day, but my game plan is for my first 15 scripted defensively is I'm coming. You know what I mean? I'm coming. If I get beat, I get beat.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm all over. I'm coming all over Baker.
You know me, I'm all for shaking things up. So I'm sure Isaiah Rogers bet that the Eagles would be 2-2. But it's time for a youth movement. You know what I mean? It's my fault. Sorry. It's time to mix it up.
I love it.
It's time to mix it up. Let's get youthy back there. It's not even a word, but let's get youthy back there.
It is now.
Let's get youthy back there.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
Says, thanks for super chat, brother. He said,
yes, thank you, Ismail.
Not using Barkley. What the fuck? What's going on with Devin White? Sick to my stomach. Thank God for the bye week. Please bring Reddick back. I mean, it could.
That's an interesting scenario that obviously we'll see how it plays out. But
3 weeks ago, I say hell no. Now I say, where do I sign up?
Yes, 100%.
Bring him back home. He was on a milk carton last year too. But
he's just hanging out in Haddon Heights. I mean, what is going?
I mean, he might be.
He's never reported, right?
No.
Like
he never reported.
I mean, Bill just went on a rampage. You guys think Reddick is back in 2 weeks? I'll swap, hop back, pay Reddick, fire Nick, hire Bill Belichick. And you have a month to get back on track. Enough with Howie and Jeff being a Jerry Jones. I love you,
that's
Billy.
A lot. That's a spoonful, Billy. Yep. I love you, Bill. That's a spoonful, buddy.
Give me two. Give me 2 spoonfuls. I'm wide open.
Yeah.
Give me 2.
Give me 2.
Oh, Brian, this year, Devin White's this year's Rashad Penny. Yeah. Oh, where are we at on YouTube? I mean, we got a lot of people watching. Where are we at 100 yet?
Not 90 at 90 watching right now, 59 likes.
Oh, come on. Let's get us over here. Let's go. Everybody hit the like, subscribe, turn your damn alerts on. Come on. Be here for the collapse.
We're so close.
Be here when the Titanic sinks because we're getting there. We're right around the block.
I heard that as the clap. Be here for the claps.
Be here for the claps. Those two.
We had some thunderclaps going on.
Be here for a Diddy claps.
KZ, I can't wait for Ben Simmons. Oh, I can't wait for it. It's going to be so good. The comeback is on.
I wonder if he can play. Linebacker.
He fits in with our Putty Cats.
Yeah,
he definitely play corner. Yeah, he did go 5-man front versus Saints and didn't do it at all in Tampa.
Yeah.
He's old. You know what I mean? He's old.
And senile.
I mean, Jalen put up. Jalen put up big numbers against Miami last year. That was a game he looked good in. Not trying to,
Yeah, sure.
pile on Uncle Sweeps, but
take away, bud.
More piling on Vic. You know what I mean? The only reason he's here is he wanted to come home. like a retirement. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's coming to retire. I would feel like am I even getting real Vic Fangio?
Most people go to Florida. Most people retire in Florida. He wants to retire in Philly.
He came back home.
He was already in Miami. He's like, I don't want to be in this disaster.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go. He's like, I seen Tua get, Tua's
dead.
concussions.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel.
Not even that. He wanted to be back up here. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, are you here because you want to be, or you just want to be closer to home?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel wouldn't share his vape with him, so he's like, "Be out of here, get out of here." Guys zooted every game. Can't wait to see that idiot hammer tomorrow on
Can't wait
prime
to have
time.
30 for 30. I can't wait to 30 for 30 on Mike McDaniel. Clean cut, ripping lines on Sundays.
Say hello to my little friend.
Did you get this one? Did you get this one?
I'm probably not. Brian, thanks, brother. He's like, I'm totally fine with Billy is the next head coach, but Patricia is a package deal. Or next will be a troll.
I saw the name.
Like? Yeah. You know what I like? It's one name. He was out there this whole season. It's Mikey Vrabel.
Yeah,
I was going to say his name was in the chat. His name was in the chat, and sadly, we can't go after him till after the year.
Perfect.
Well, that would be. You're right. We were all on him in the offseason. Like, because we all said, right? We all said, what are you moving on from Nick for, right? Like, unless there's a name, you come back, right? And Vrabel was that name that we all sat here all offseason and said, that's the guy you make the move for. When Tennessee unexpectedly does their dumbass shit and fires that guy, and then New England doesn't hire him.
Yep, even better. Yep.
You then have to sit there and seriously weigh Nick versus Vrabel, and it's not even close.
No, I mean close. I mean, listen. I mean, we talk about doing more with less, right? And you can tell a lot about a head coach at any level when they do more with less, right? And it's not always that easy. It doesn't always define you, right? Mm-hmm. Just because you don't do more with less doesn't mean you're not a good coach. But he's had, at the highest level, he's had track records having teams that have been like, they're okay, they're tough, but they were tough because they were coached by him.
He made them tough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there was a certain he's a football guy. Like I hate that analogy sometimes, but like
he played in the league. He just played in the league. I mean, he gets it. He's just
you don't always have to, right? You don't always have to.
He transitioned to the coaching. He took to it and he transitioned well, and he's a tremendous coach. He's a tremendous coach. Comparing those two guys, that's a 116. That's a 116 matchup, and Sirianni's the 16. So the 16's two, the 16's 2 and 8,000. But still, you're saying there's a chance, but that's not even.
This is like really Island talk, but I would take Vrabel over Bill.
Well, just for longevity purposes, yes.
Just because I think he's probably the better coach right now.
I would agree there.
And that's nothing against Bill. I mean, Bill's
and I think Bill, and who knows? I mean, he did interview for the Falcons, so who knows what his plans are? But I think he might be enjoying his little his
3-year-old.
His gig now. Yeah, he's got.
Once they get that TV money, they don't want to leave.
Yeah,
and they go, wait, I don't have to work hard. I don't have to do anything.
He's got a little 23-year-old on his hip.
Hell yeah, he does.
He's got a little IG model on his hip, and Bill's living his best life. I mean, Bill
he sure is, as he should.
Yeah, so I don't know where his head's at, but anytime
we know where his head's at.
Anytime, yeah.
Vrabel's our type of coach too.
Yeah,
Philly media wise, you want to talk about the home run hire, you want to talk about accountability. And I know we've done this before. We've had this took me to Sixers, right?
Yeah,
we've had accountable, right? But Mike's proven this, so. That is what it is. We can have that talk at a different time.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. Crumbs of the week.
Good point, Brian. Good point. He says Bill was chasing Shula. He wants the number 1 list. Yeah, that's a good point.
How close is it now?
I don't know. Let me look.
Yeah, you look it up. I'll go first. I'll do the anti and then the crumb. Yeah. The anti-Crumb would be Luis Arraez. Right, played today. First of all, congratulations, 3 straight batting titles.
What a stud!
Absolutely awesome achievement for him. American League, National League, National League again.
14 away. Sorry, didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're good, buddy.
Shula's got 347. Belichick's got 333.
Ohtani was chasing the Triple Crown. easiest thing to do is sit out. But Roz decided, he was going to play like he should. And, they're not playing for anything as a team, and he went 1 for 3. Otani went 1 for 4, and he, Otani didn't get there. But kudos to kudos to Luis, and obviously yes, the baseball gods, because it should be earned on the field. You know what I mean? So if a guy's chasing you, you give him that respect. He's chasing history, and you're trying to earn your 3rd straight one, which is like I said, awesome. He's adding his name to a tremendous list. 314, not the high, not the highest, but we've seen some in that area. So there's still no sticking your nose down at it. You know what I mean? So awesome. Kudos to him. And Crumb is Cam Newton. First of all, he's a bum. Second of all, you can feel whatever you want to feel about Eli Manning, but to say like, well, if he's getting 1, I should get 2. You should get none. I don't care if Eli's a Hall of Famer or not. He's won 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. You two shouldn't be
he's the best Manning in the family.
Stop it, Greg. You two shouldn't be in the same breath. No, Cam and Eli. So you two guys shouldn't be mentioned in the same breath. So shut up and you're a crumb. That's the bottom line.
Couldn't agree more. P. Swire, I'm good on Brian Flores at the moment. Right.
I think he's in the spot he's in right now, not just the Vikings. That's what he does. He's not a good head coach. I'm not going by Tua. I don't like Tua one bit. As a person, I like him. I don't like him as throwing people under the bus and all that stuff. And whether Flores had confidence in him or not, or wanted him, somebody took him in that draft, stupidly when Herbert was on the board. So we talk about dumb drafts. Obviously, it was a mistake pick. All right, Herbert should have been the pick. All right, so let's not talk about revisionist history. But I don't think Flores is cut out to be a good head coach. But he's a tremendous defensive coordinator, and that's what he's doing right now in Minnesota. They're 4-0. He's flourishing. They're running around with their hair on fire. So I think he's in the right spot. But not saying he won't get another job. But I agree with Tom. I'm out on him as a head coach. I agree with you, KZ. I have no idea, but that's what he said.
I got a bunch. I'm going to run through them real quick. It was a crumb week for me. First off, we're going to start with John Fisher, the Oakland A's owner, for just being an absolute crumb and trying to undermine keeping the A's in Oakland. I mean, that's it, right? He's just an absolute crumb. Never sent any over good plans to keep them in Oakland, right? Like sent over flawed attempts and just wanted. I mean, it's $1 bazillion. I don't even know what he's worth, right? But sent over $1 bazillion and once completely publicly funded stadium, and it was just a disaster. So John Fisher's one crumb.
Yeah, and I would say in the same breath, I agree with you 100%. He does not get a pass, and he's a scumbag. But those fans need to look in the mirror. 46,000%. 46,000. 46,000 there on the last game. Where were you the whole time?
Yeah, where were you the whole time?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got to sell it the whole time. But and you can be pissed about the product. And I'm with you.
$15K a night keeps him in Oakland.
Yeah, exactly. 3,000 a night.
Not 3,000 a night. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So go ahead. You're right.
Yep, absolutely right. The Pittsburgh Pirates, Bob Nutting, Ben Cherington, deciding to cut Rowdy Tellez on the last week of the season when my man needs 4 at-bats for a $200,000 bonus.
Yeah, I think guys won't go there. That's what happens.
What are you doing? You have a team that you've built through the draft that is on the cusp of being really, really good. And what is the thing that you're going to lack with this young team is going to be veteran free agents. And they're not going to show up now because you decided to just dump Rowdy Tellez on the last week of the year.
Yeah, it's like one game's beer money. It's like one game. It's like one game's beer sales. Come on, dude. Like,
And you're gonna wonder why you're not drawing. You're not drawing. You can't draw the top free agents. You're not drawing fans because they see right through you.
Yeah.
Number 3 is going to be, now more has come to light on this situation, but it's going to be the NCAA and the NIL money after the UNLV quarterback decided he wants the red shirt. Now I say more has come out because it's coming out now that maybe he was paid what he was according to. And it's not as egregious as originally thought. However, that scenario is still there. You have a free agent system, but you don't have any union or any backing for the players to make sure that they're getting what they're owed in theory, right? You have a bunch of guys, bunch of recruiters being slime balls like they are, trying to go out and make handshake deals instead of putting stuff on paper and putting stuff in there legally. It's insane. Like I said, more has come out on this quarterback that maybe he was paid what he was originally offered and stuff like that. So that particular scenario might not be as bad and egregious as originally thought, but this is going to continue in the current way the NIL is set up, because NIL is just free agency money. You know what I mean? Like, there's no image and likeness going on, right? You're just paying guys to pay guys. So why don't you just revamp it, do it the right way, and just move on about it. And my last one came right on and then at the last minute, a Crumb that has been here before, Blake Snell. Blake Snell decided he did not want to pitch today because the game meant nothing in the last game of the year. And he's going to focus on free agency, where he hopes to be back with the Giants, but decided to not take the ball today on the last game of the year because he was playing the Cardinals and the game meant nothing to either team. But if the game did mean something, he might have thrown, because that would have been integrity to the game. So, Blake Snell, you're back on A2D Crumb of the Week.
Wow.
Sorry.
Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Yeah, mine was Darius.
Love it.
So I'll stay with him. He's a loser. And yeah, so we're at 8 turnovers in the first 4 games. So we are actually very lucky that we're 2-2. And through all that, we essentially should be 3-1. I don't do a lot of should be's, but like 1, catch the ball, 2, just run the ball. Either way, doesn't matter which way you look at it.
One way or the other, absolutely
Doesn't matter. Like, the play was there, cool. Catch the ball, it's routine. Right, easiest catch you'll have, and you don't. Either way, run the ball. Kick a field goal in the first quarter on the second drive. Either way, you win a game.
Yep.
And you could be 3-1 through, again, like last year, through all the Jalen turnovers. So, listen, big 2 weeks here for the Philadelphia Eagles. Big 2 weeks. So we'll see you boys. I'll see you Wednesday night.
Yep.
We'll see you next Sunday. Breaking down a bye week. You would say relaxing week, but it's not. We'll be getting ready for Phillies.
Twins are a good Crumb. Don. They absolutely fell apart.
Well, Carlos Correa not running the ball at. Crumb-worthy too.
Yeah.
Today.
All right. We appreciate you all commenting in tonight. Yeah. We love you all. The super chat.
Good luck, Don. Good luck, brother.
Hey, Don.
No, you get a game, Don. You get a game.
Yeah, they don't. I don't. I mean, listen. They turned their ship around too. They were the Astros. Were looking great early on, and they've been playing great baseball probably since June or July as well. So, yeah. But they're not indestructible. All right. So you got the Cy Young winner. You got the Cy Young winner. So you got to have that game. I don't need that's Captain Obvious. That's Joe Buck shit.
Oh.
Hey, there I am.
My mouse fell off the table.
Yeah, you got to have that one though. But good luck, Don. We wish you good luck, brother.
On the way out, make sure you're pounding that like. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, hit that like and subscribe on the way out. I better wake up tomorrow with over 100. All right. Easy over 100.
65 right now.
We're here to talk to you about the good. We're here to talk to you about the bad. And for this week, the ugly. 82 watching. Come on, everybody now. Everybody join in on the way out. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Come on, 70 before we're out of here.
Thumbs up party. Thumbs up party.
Little thumbs up party. Darius is talking to John Clark.
Is he on the plane on the way out of town?
Yeah, I got the TV paused because I want to hear what Sirianni has to say. Later, Bill. See you, buddy.
See you guys. Billy, thank you all. Don, good luck, brother.
Bill, as much as I would like that, I don't think he's getting fired yet. You know what I mean? I don't think he's getting fired yet. I think it's coming, but not yet. And they got a big 4-game stretch of games that they, should win.
I'm already nervous about the Giants
Greg.
game.
See you, Greg.
Nervous about the Giants game.
Because I'll be there.
What?
So I'm nervous about the Giants game.
Where's that? What game's that? Is that at East Rutherford? Is that?
Yeah, it's up north.
You're going to that game?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Dude, sit still. All right? Knock it off. Knock it off. Now you're running all around.
I got Marriott days to use before. I got to keep the gold status. I got to keep the gold status.
Marriott days, and we're going to be 0-4 in his Marriott runarounds. And it's going to be
he's going to be in a robe. Greg's going to be in a fucking robe and slippers, and then the Eagles are going to go 4. They're going to lose 4 in a row because this guy's got to fiddle fuck around in the Meadowlands.
Like, nobody wants to go there. But
yeah.
Nobody wants to go.
Free tickets. I'll just say that. Free tickets.
Are they free? Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
They're free.
That's
a
scheduled loss.
They were given by a company.
Giants fans are giving them away. Giants fans are giving them away.
I'm guessing they're good seats too.
We call that a scheduled loss around here.
We might want to post the like party. We're at 69, so it'd be cool, right?
This guy.
I have a 12.
That is a party, though. I mean,
I have a 12-year-old.
69 is a party. Dinner for 2. Dinner for 2, Don.
I think we got to 70. Did we get there?
Did we get there?
69 still.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do it.
No one wants to be the guy. Let's do it. If we're gonna go over, we gotta go. We gotta go all the way.
We did. We're at 70. We did it, ladies and gentlemen, because of you. Because of you. Unlike the Eagles, unlike the fucking Eagles, you guys showed up.
You come through.
You guys showed up tonight. We'll see you Wednesday night. It's been a great disagree. HED Radio.
Love you.
By our doc. Make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, located in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And you know where to check him out. It's time for bed.